Haunted by his own experiences and armed with relentless determination, Edward found himself drawn to a particular location repeatedly mentioned in a series of historical documents. An abandoned manor on the outskirts of Whitechapel, its once stately appearance now ruined and consumed by ivy and neglect, had been a silent witness to centuries of mystery, suffering, and whispered secrets. The manor, known locally as Ashbourne House, had a storied past, constructed in the early 18th century and later endowed to a family whose fortunes waned abruptly after a series of unexplained tragedies. Its history was steeped in sorrow and inexplicable occurrences. Edward had discovered a faded diary within the museum's private archives, penned by a scion of the Ashbourne line. The diary recounted strange occurrences, eerie visions on stormy nights. The soft voice of a lost beloved echoed through the manor halls, and the persistent belief that the house was living, a sentient witness to historical misdeeds and untold sufferings. One overcast afternoon, when the London sky bore down with an oppressive melancholy, Edward set out to see Ashbourne House for himself. The journey was meticulous. Every detail from the diary was verified against civic records and local folklore. His arrival was met with an unnatural stillness that belied the manor's tragic history. The iron gates, twisted by time, creaked as if beckoning him inside, while the overgrown garden whispered of years of abandonment. Inside the manor's decaying walls, Edward felt the palpable presence of history. Dust motes danced in patterns that were almost deliberate, illuminated by fractured beams of wan light that filtered through shattered stained glass. His footsteps echoed throughout the halls, a relentless drumbeat that challenged the oppressive silence. It was here that history collided with the present in a manner that was at once magnificent and profoundly disturbing. In the grand, desolate parlour, Edward unearthed a set of relics, a portrait of a solemn woman whose eyes seemed to follow his every movement, a cracked mirror that reflected not only his image, but hinted at a movement behind him, and a heavy ledger bound in leather that documented the manor's tumultuous history. As he traced his fingers over the embossed names and dates, he felt the weight of the past seeping into his soul. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, as though the manor itself awaited his discovery of secrets long interred. In quiet corners, he began to perceive soft murmurs, a voice that recited fragmented tales of heartache, betrayal, and unresolved injustice. These spectral utterances were woven into the fabric of the building, as inseparable as the layers of time that had settled upon the stone walls. Before leaving, Edward discovered a concealed door behind an archaic tapestry. Its hinges, rusted by centuries of neglect, yielded under his careful push, revealing a narrow staircase spiraling downward into darkness. The damp, cool air hinted at a long-forgotten undercroft where, according to local legend, clandestine meetings and secret rituals had once been held. With each step he took, a gnawing sense of dread mingled with an insatiable curiosity, a desire to reconcile the fragments of history with the intangible echoes of the supernatural.